Hello students, this is Dr. Sujata Magdum, Assistant Professor in Zoology, KTHM College, Nashik. Today, I'll be talking on biological chemistry for third year BSc students, and the topic of discussion is concept of acids and base, which is included in chapter 1, that is Introduction to Biological Chemistry. Now, in earlier lectures, we have tried to understand the different types of bonds which are involved in stabilizing the macromolecules such as proteins, carbohydrate, lipids, nucleic acids, and so on. The different bonds which we talked about were covalent bond, non-covalent bond, hydrogen bond, hydrophobic bond, electrostatic attractions, and van der Waals forces. Apart from that, we tried to study the structure of water, its physicochemical properties, and followed by that, we had a discussion on colloid, their classification, and uses. Now, to begin with the concept of acids and base, we would try to understand in detail what are acids and base in general, and followed by that the different theories which have been proposed by three different scientists, that is Arrhenius, then Bronsted and Lowry, and followed by that is the Lewis. So let us talk about the basic properties of acids and base. You all know that acids, they are sour in taste and they change the blue litmus to red. Apart from that, these acids, they can act as strong or weak electrolytes in aqueous solutions. The common acids which are used in daily life is tannin, which is present into the tea, and the citric acid which is present into the citrus fruits like lemon, orange, and so on, right? Then the bases, you know, these are bitter in taste, and when you try to feel it, touch it, it gives the feeling or sensation of slippery. Further, these bases, they have the tendency to change the red litmus to blue, and even these bases, they can act as strong or weak electrolytes in aqueous solution. The common bases which are used in day-to-day life are antacids, and these antacids we use commonly during the acidity, wherein these neutralizes the excess amount of acids which are seen present into the stomach. The other base which you have seen in day-to-day life is the calcium hydroxide, which is a component of mortar and is used in constructions. Now let us begin with the concepts of acid and base. The first theory which was proposed in 1889 was by Arrhenius, and he was the Swedish chemist who said that acids are the substances that dissociate in water, and it gives rise to formation of H plus ions, right? That means here you can see in the equation I have written HCl, which gets dissociated into H plus and Cl minus ions. Now this HCl in water, it has the tendency to get hydrogen to get converted into hydronium ion. That is why it gives rise to formation of H3O plus and Cl minus, it remains as it is. So the general equation of the concept of Arrhenius theory can be given by the statement as Ha, if I consider as a general acid, it will get dissociated as H plus and A minus ions. Now there is a limitation to this theory because Arrhenius, he considered equations which were or reactions which were seen occurring only into the aqueous medium. But you all know that there are large variety of reactions which are seen occurring apart from aqueous medium, and for that the other theories have come across. Arrhenius has given three different types of acids, and depending upon the number of hydrogen ions which are getting dissociated. Now these hydrogen ions which are getting dissociated are also called as ionizable hydrogen. So according to him, the three different types of acids are monoproctic acids, diproctic acids, or triproctic acids. Monoproctic acids are those acids which have the tendency to ionize single hydrogen ion. The best example to define monoproctic acid is nitric acid. In the same way, in case of diproctic acid, as the name suggests, di means two, indicating that in diproctic acid there should be two hydrogen ions which are having the efficiency to get ionized. And the example to define such diproctic acid is sulfuric acid. Lastly, the third type of acid which was defined by Arrhenius is triproctic acid. Here, once again, tri refers to three, indicating that three different hydrogen ions are getting ionized, or there are three ionizable hydrogens in such acids, and therefore the name is triproctic acid. The example to define triproctic acid is phosphoric acid. The common examples of the acids are hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, monophosphoric acid, ethanoic acid, and carbonic acid. Now, with the explanation what is seen onto your left side, you have to classify these different acids which I have mentioned onto the right side in the table as diproctic or monoproctic or triproctic. So you can consider this as an assignment. Now, let us move ahead to the theory of bases which was given by Arrhenius. Now, as in case of acid, he said that the substance has the ability to dissociate as H plus ion. Likewise, in case of bases, he mentioned that substances which have the affinity or which have the ability to dissociate in water in the form of OH minus ions, such substances are called as bases. The common examples of bases are potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, or magnesium hydroxide. Now let us consider dissociation of sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH. NaOH, it gets dissociated as Na plus and OH minus. So OH minus ion, as it is getting dissociated from NaOH, we can say that according to Arrhenius theory, NaOH is acting as a base. Now, to give the generalized statement of this equation in the words of Arrhenius, I can say that bases have the ability as XOH, which gets dissociated as X plus and OH minus ion, right? Milk of magnesia is one of the best example to describe the bases. Now, with the background of Arrhenius theory, we'll move ahead to understand the theory put forth by Bronsted and Lowry. Bronsted and Lowry's theory is an acid-base theory who proposed independently the theory in 1923. This theory defines that an acid as an hydrogen ion donor, or you can consider it as a proton donor, or in other words we can say, as per the theory of Bronsted and Lowry, acids are proton donors, and in the same conceptual basis we can say a base is a substance where the hydrogen ions will be accepted, or bases are the substances which has the affinity to accept an hydrogen ion. Therefore, it can be called as a proton acceptor. Or in short, you can say acids are proton donors and bases, they are proton acceptors. Now let us see a very interesting example of ammonia. If you simply consider ammonia NH3, here I'll say that it acts as a base. Now what makes me say that ammonia acts as a base is because when ammonia is seen reacting with water, there is a tendency wherein water's H plus ion will be accepted by ammonia, and therefore it gets converted to ammonium ion, that is NH4 plus. When this is the situation, OH minus ions are formed, and in this entire equation I can say ammonia, that is NH3, is acting as a Lowry base. Now why Bronsted-Lowry base? Because it has the ability to accept the proton which is given by the water, and in this concept I can say because water is donating hydrogen ion, water is acting as an acid. So here in this equation we can say ammonia is acting as Bronsted-Lowry base, whereas water is acting as an acid. And in this condition, the OH minus ions which are formed, the hydroxide ions which are getting generated in the reaction, it makes the solution basic in nature, right? Now, let us talk about the conjugate acids and bases. A conjugate acid is the particle which is formed when a base gains a hydrogen ion. In the same manner, a conjugate base is a particle that remains when an acid has donated a hydrogen ion. In this concept, once again, we will take an example of the reaction which we understood in the previous slide, wherein ammonia is seen reacting with water, giving rise to formation of ammonium ions and hydroxide ions. In this entire reaction, ammonia is acting as Lowry base, then water is acting as the acid, whereas ammonium ion, it is acting as a conjugate acid. Now why is it acting as a conjugate acid? Because this ammonium ion is formed only when the ammonia is accepting or it is gaining an hydrogen ion which is released from the water. Therefore, the ammonium ion we can say is acting as a conjugate acid. In the same manner, hydroxide ions which is OH minus, this is defined as conjugate base because this conjugate base is formed when water is dissociating H plus ion or it is donating an hydrogen ion. Therefore, from this slide, what you need to remember is the substance which has the ability to gain an hydrogen ion will be called as an conjugate acid, whereas the substance which has the ability to donate an hydrogen ion will act as a conjugate base. That is the reason ammonium ion, we are calling it as a conjugate acid, whereas hydroxide ion is called as a conjugate base. Now, with the concept of conjugate acid and conjugate base, I'll be talking about conjugate acid base pair. Now, a conjugate acid base pair is defined to consist of the substances which are related by loss or gain of a single hydrogen ion with the same reaction, that is ammonia reacting with water getting converted into ammonium ion and hydroxide ion. I'll be talking about the conjugate acid base. Now here you can see ammonia which is a Bronsted base and ammonium ion which is a conjugate acid will be defined as a conjugate acid base pair. Likewise, water which is donating hydrogen ion and getting converted into hydroxide ion. So, water is considered as a Bronsted-Lowry acid, whereas hydroxide ions is considered as a conjugate base. So, both water and hydroxide ions, it will form a conjugate acid base pair, right? Now, these are different acids and bases which are commonly seen in the living system. So, except to H2SO4, the other substances which other structures which I have mentioned here as acid and base, they are commonly seen present into the living cell. In the same concept, we can say here, if the substance has the ability to act both as an acid or a base, then such substances, they are defined as amphoteric substances. Now let us talk about how much you have understood about the concept. Now in this reaction, what I have given is H2SO4 interacting with water to form hydronium ions and hydrogen sulfide ions. Right? Here you have to identify which of these is acting as a Bronsted acid, Bronsted base, conjugate acid, conjugate base, and a conjugate acid and base. The answers you can submit it on Google Classroom. Now we'll try to understand the third theory which was put forth by Lewis, and this is defined as Lewis acid-base concept. Lewis proposed that acids are those substances which have the ability to accept a pair of electron, and in doing so it forms a covalent bond. In the same manner, he defined a base as the substance which has the ability to donate a pair of electron, and when the pair of electron is donated, once again there is formation of covalent bond during a reaction. Now on the lower side you can see the reaction wherein hydrogen ion is being shown to interact with hydroxide ion, of which the O will be seen binding with hydrogen ion, resulting into formation of a water molecule. The details of this we have already understood into the structure of water. Now I'll once again a tricky question here. You can see the reaction wherein I have said ammonia is interacting with boron trifluoride. Now this ammonia actually is used in fertilizers, plastics and large number of explosives. You are supposed to identify the Lewis acid, Lewis base into the reaction, right? With this, we come to an end to today's discussion on the concept of acid and base. And in the next lecture, I'll be talking about pH buffer and different types of biological buffers which are commonly used in lab and are seen present in the living system. Thank you.